Salutations, future Twig. Past Twig here once again, and we're back with another miniature machination for everybody. Today we're back with the Robot Warband, looking at unit number 8 of the Warband, which is Pontific8. And Pontific8 is one of my all-time favorite units, up there with High Five, which I did a couple episodes ago, because of the way he came together and how simple but clean his design is. But first off, obviously I'm building these little robot miniatures because I want a 10-unit kill team, so I can play skirmish-style war games whenever I'm invited to them, and you know all the story about that. And here we go. This is Pontific8. As you can see, he's actually a flying unit. I picture him to be a little bit on the smaller side, like a little servo skull, maybe from the Warhammer 40k universe. Has some little appendages and dendrites where he can use to manipulate and control stuff. Little tools that can help him out with his task. I also picture he's kind of like the iBots from the Fallout universe, the series of games, where he can kind of act as like a little radio, so he's constantly ejecting various sounds or reports or updates or whatever and help to communicate between people. Looking into what I actually did, I took a couple of half-dome beads as well as some sawed-off like screw-base anchor port bits for the top two limbs, and these are kind of acting as like little laser cutters, I imagine, so you can kind of cut through metal. And the bottom two limbs I actually made, again, from those little screw anchor bits where I kind of split them apart and turn them into little claws, which allow him to kind of work with and manipulate items that he's cutting up with his lasers. Moving on up into the body, the main part of his body is perhaps one of my proudest moments, where I took apart an old coffee maker that was beyond repair, and I discovered that the on-off switch had these 3 metal tabs coming out the back, which connected to the positive, negative, and ground leads that obviously went on to the rest of the machine. Well, I took these metal tabs, and I took 2 pieces of zip ties for each one, and I basically sandwiched the metal tab between the 2 pieces of zip tie, which created his very unique kind of ridged-looking fins on the back of his body there. Additionally, I attached 4 beads along the sides of his body, 2 on each side, and those allowed me to have little anchor points where I could glue in his limbs. So it all came together into this very basic but very cool looking shape for a body, which all I then had to do was on the front part put on 4 little half-dome beads to act as eyeballs for him, and I thought it came together beautifully. He also kind of gives me a vibe of like a Sentinel from the Matrix series of movies, which is one of my all-time favorite shows, or movies rather. And yeah, I'm just very overall happy of how clean and simple he came together. He's on his little flying base. I used the same bit of wire that he used to build his little appendage limbs as like a flying stand, and it's actually removable, so you can actually pop him on and off his base as much as you want, twist him around as you desire. And other than that, you have the same basic color scheme as you have for the other miniatures, with the one kind of different point being that he has a lot more energy. He has a lot more of that blue represented than most of the other miniatures in this, because he has a lot more flying bits because of his limbs. So yeah, overall, very happy with how you came together, and that is actually all I have for you guys today. Thank you very much for tuning into this episode of Miniature Machinations, and have a wonderful day all. Take care.